Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. In about an hour and 40 minutes, it will be Thanksgiving. I want to express my thanks to you and hope that you and yours have a happy, healthy Thanksgiving. And always remember those who are fighting for us overseas who cannot be with their families on Thanksgiving. Give a moment of silence at the dinner table for them. I wanted to do a quick update here in Massachusetts as it pertains to our assault weapon ban reinterpretation by our Attorney General Maura Healey. Yesterday, Maura Healey came out and said that basically she's looking to dismiss the federal lawsuit that was lodged against her by the National Shooting Sports Foundation and 4 gun sellers here in Massachusetts. In order to keep my mind and my delivery focused on this one, because it's a very heated situation here in Massachusetts, and I often could get sidetracked in talking about this and telling all the bad things that Maura Healey does and how clueless she is. I'm going to follow along an article here to try to keep it focused, okay? So bear with me. So like I said yesterday, Maura Healey asked a federal judge to dismiss the case against her in federal court because she said, and I quote, "The only question for the federal court is whether her office's clarification of the phrase copies or duplicates burdens Second Amendment rights as much as the gun shop's lawsuit claims." So she believes that her overnight ban of any AR, AK, similar type platform, by banning those immediately for sale, purchase, transfer, wasn't really a burden on the Second Amendment. That shows you right off where she's coming from. But I'll continue. Now, she also said that her enforcement notice only applies to a narrow class of weapons that are copies or duplicates of banned assault weapons like the AR-15 and the AK-47. There are no assault weapons. They don't exist. It's a lie that has been said over and over and over and over for years by liberals, to the point where people are starting to believe it. There are assault rifles, fully auto rifles, but there are no assault weapons. Okay, first and foremost. Healey said that her action imposes no substantial burden on Second Amendment rights. No substantial burden on Second Amendment rights. So up until July 19th, 2016, I could buy an AR. I could buy an AK. The next morning, I couldn't. But that's not a substantial burden. It was legal for decades to buy this particular style weapon, and overnight you couldn't. Not because a new law was passed, but because a person reinterpreted a law that fit her political agenda. But that's not imposing or burdening the Second Amendment. To further see how nuts and clueless this woman is, I'm going to quote this one. "It has no effect whatsoever on the thousands of firearms, rifles, and shotguns that are not assault weapons, either because they were specifically exempted from the assault weapons ban, because they were manufactured before September 13th, 1994, when the federal assault weapon ban passed." She also goes on to say that the federal court is the wrong jurisdiction for this case. So this Attorney General, this rogue Attorney General, thinks that in order to check her in a lawsuit, it shouldn't be at the federal level, it should be at the state level, so that she could be the deciding factor in what's investigated. Now, in her motion to dismiss this case, she kind of sets herself up to fail, and I hope that the attorneys caught this, and if not, maybe they'll see this and realize that she left the door open, wide open. Let me read you this. It says, "Healey's enforcement notice doesn't change the list of handguns, including semi-automatic pistols, on the state's approved firearms roster." See, what she doesn't say in her motion was that there are 2 lists in Massachusetts. There's the one by EOPS, which is the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, and they include just about every make and model of handgun. and they're approved for sale in Massachusetts. But Maura Healey, the Attorney General, maintains a stricter list of firearms, handguns that you could buy based on consumer issues, and safety and stuff like that, she claims. For instance, Glock. Glock is not on there. You cannot go to a federal firearms licensed dealer and buy a new Glock. It has to be pre-ban or private sale, etc. You can't buy certain weapons because she doesn't like them. Even though they're approved for sale in Massachusetts by EOPS, she doesn't like them. But she says because she didn't change that group of firearms, she didn't impose a burden on the Second Amendment. Anybody agree with that? Now, within a couple of hours of her trying to get this motion tossed out in federal court, she decided she was going to announce she was going to fight a judge's order for her to fly down to Texas and testify because, see, she thinks she's all-powerful. She's suing Glock, she's suing Remington because she says that they are inherently unsafe firearms. She's asking, well, demanding all kinds of records from all their sales, all their service calls, malfunction issues everywhere around the globe. And she overstepped her bounds numerous times. And she did it again in requesting or investigating ExxonMobil's climate change policy. And ExxonMobil's a lot bigger than she is, has a lot more money than my state does. And they're suing back, both in Texas and in Massachusetts. And she's been ordered to come testify by a judge, a federal judge. Now, Maura Healey, who's just an attorney general, state attorney general, and the hierarchy of law, you know, judges are here, attorney generals are here. She's saying she's not going to go testify. She's saying she has no reason, no plans to go to Texas and testify. Now, you or I, if we got charged with something and we had to go testify, do we think we would be able to say, I'm not going. I'm not going to go testify. You know what happens if that takes place? A court capias, a warrant is put out for you. So I'm hoping that this judge puts out a warrant for Maura Healey, and I'll go lock her up personally myself and bring her to Texas. And I have a few hundred friends that would love to do that too. Another glimpse into how this woman thinks. I'm going to read this quote as it pertains to the Exxon case she's also going through right now. And it says, "Our position in this litigation is that the authorities in Texas, and specifically the federal court down there, has no jurisdiction over state attorneys general and the work of their offices." So she's saying, you know what, Judge? I'm an attorney general of Massachusetts. I mean, I know Texas pretty good, and I hope this judge sees this. I hope he reads these articles that are coming out today, and I hope he locks her silly ass up. But that's just a quick update to let you know how bad our Attorney General is off her meds. This woman is frickin' loopy, and she thinks she can make law here in Massachusetts without legislature, without the public, just be a dictator. And the funny thing is our governor, the Republican Charlie Baker, you know, one of my viewers forwarded me some information, and I'm going to call out our governor too right now. Our governor, the Republican, is in a couple of the Podesta emails that were released by WikiLeaks. And he's working with some really high people, making phone calls to high people in the Democrat National Convention and Committee. I wonder why a Republican governor would be working with the Democrats behind the scenes. Charlie Baker, I'm calling you out. I want to know why you're in these emails with John Podesta. I want to know why you're working with the Democrats. See, I think you're a Democrat. A lot of people think you're a rhino. I'm calling you out. Help me get the truth out, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button, the thumbs up, and subscribe. Pass this to your friends. The more people that see this, the more of a chance that the judge in Texas might see how Maura Healey's challenging him. My governor might see how I'm challenging him. And the truth might get out about the Republican governor in Massachusetts working behind the scenes with the Democrats. I'd love for that to get out. Happy Thanksgiving. This is Jared from Guns and Gadgets. I appreciate your time, and until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry your weapon. Take care.